Lesley Dresser, and I am a wellness badass. I help people overcome disease in their body through nutrition and all sorts of other badassery, and basically reclaim their lives, because most Americans right now are pretty fat, pretty miserable. They're on lots of medications that may or may not be necessary, and they're sick and tired of it, and they're not enjoying their lives or their bodies, right? I was in the same place about 7 years ago. I reversed all the disease in my body through nutrition, and then I decided to go to the banking community, and I became a natural health practitioner, a functional diagnostic nutritionist, lots of other certifications. And to date, I've helped about 300, maybe 400 people overcome disease in their bodies and reclaim their lives, which is pretty awesome. Today, what I want to talk about is obesity. But I'd actually like to talk about the truth about obesity, which isn't what you've been told by the medical community, the weight loss industry, everything else, okay? So, truth is, in this country, our obesity is not being caused by people sitting on their butts and eating too much. Dun, dun, dun. It's true. It's not. Because if it were true, then all the people that I talk to and work with who have stuck to their 1,200 calorie a day diet and exercise like wild animals, it would have worked, right? Now, I know it does with some people, and that's great. But the people that end up with me, which is a significant number, have tried everything that they can to lose weight through the weight loss industry, which, by the way, is a $62 billion industry with a less than 2% success rate. And we keep buying it because there's nothing else available, right? So, anywho, I've tried every diet on the planet before I got into natural health, and Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystems, phentermine, Ally. That was fun. You name it, I've tried it if it wasn't surgery. And none of it worked. And I was pretty much anywhere between 50 to 100 pounds overweight for most of my 20s and 30s. Reversed it through nutritional lifestyle. So what I want to talk to you today about is the truth about obesity. What we're hearing in this country, either through our government, through advertisements, even through our popular TV, is that if we just get off our ass and exercise and eat 1,200 calories a day, we will become fabulous, just like Betty on The Biggest Loser says, if I can do it, you can do it, right? Anybody can do it if they're starving and they're on The Biggest Loser ranch and Jillian Michaels is screaming at them for 6 hours a day, okay? But that's starvation. That isn't weight loss through healing the body. Okay? And the reason the body puts on weight is because it's sick. It's putting on weight to protect itself. So, this is the truth about obesity, okay? And it ain't what you've heard in the past. Let me turn off my phone. I thought I had. Okay. So, believe it or not, we use this word and we beat it to death. Stress, right? I'm not talking about the external stress. I'm not talking about your balloon mortgage or your teenagers or your mother-in-law, your debt, whatever. That is significant, okay? It is significant because it raises cortisol, okay? So anything that raises cortisol in the body is significant to weight gain and also weight loss, okay? So what we often don't realize or talk about is how detrimental internal stress is, and that's my world, is internal stress. Okay? Internal stress looks like eating really high calorie, non-nutritious foods on a regular basis, right? Lots of over-the-counter drugs, lots of prescription drugs, lots and lots of animal-based protein, and foods that basically aren't nourishing our bodies, okay? That is causing significant amounts of internal stress. The body has adapted over, depending on your religious background, whether it's, billions of years if you're into evolution, Who knows how long ago, if you think we came from aliens, not that long ago, if you believe we were created by God. Either way, the body is an incredible, incredible thing. And it's way smarter than you are, okay? And it's developed over time, this mechanism for dealing with war and famine. And it's just in a very short period of time that we've been in modern culture where we haven't had to deal with war and famine, okay? Well, guess what? We're still in a state of it. It just looks a little different, okay? So external stress is our war, okay? So if you don't like war, move somewhere else, right? You don't like external stress, take up yoga, meditation, deal with the toxic people in your life, quit your job. I don't care. I do care, but you know what I'm talking about. This is war. Now, eating a bunch of food that doesn't nourish our body, but is just filling up our bellies, creates internal stress or famine, okay? So, we're running around in a state of constant stress, external and internal. And every single one of those things, this whole state of chronic internal and external stress, war and famine, raises cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone. It's excreted by the adrenal glands. It's extremely necessary in our body, but guess what? When it's through the roof, chronically, 24/7, all the time, because we're constantly in a state of war and famine, then the body starts protecting itself. And there's this cascading effect of hormones that start kicking in during this war and famine, all telling the body to gain weight, put on visceral fat, which is the gnarly stuff in and around your organs and causes inflammations and makes you really, really sick, right? Metabolic syndrome, all that good stuff. Well, all of our disease is caused by inflammation, but we'll get into that later. So basically it sets in this whole cycle of hormones that are going off in your body, like leptin, right? That's the hormone that tells the brain or it tells the body that it's being nourished, right? Well, guess what? You're not eating nourishing food. You're eating top ramen and Taco Bell, right? Nowhere in there are you getting the nutrients that your body needs to be healthy and strong, right? So famine, calorie-rich, nutrient-poor food. Like I say a lot of times, just eat the box. It's better for you, okay? Than the macaroni and cheese. The box is better. There's actually fiber in there. So anyway, leptin's going off in your brain and telling you, shit, you better go find some more food because, you know, we're in famine and war. And so you're constantly searching out food, right? Ghrelin, I cannot spell. Ghrelin starts going crazy, so your stomach is rumbling constantly, right? You stop making melatonin. That's the stuff that puts you to bed at night, makes you get sleepy. Well, if you're in a state of war and you have to man your arrow hole, right? Because the Vikings are coming over the hill to attack us, right? You've got to man your arrow slot. You can't sleep. You don't have time for that, right? So we don't sleep. We got to stay up the whole time, right? Essentially, the body goes into this pre-diabetic state where it starts packing on fat in and around the organs and anywhere it possibly can because it is in a state of war and famine. If you're a squirrel, right? Be a squirrel. And you know that some big gnarly winter is coming. What are you going to do? You're not going to eat all your nuts. You're going to store your nuts, right? And you're going to pack all the nuts in your tree that's closest to you. You're not going to pack it away in a tree that's 2 miles away. You're going to pack it in close where you can get access to it, right? That's visceral fat, that gnarly shit that's packed in and around the organs and makes us sick, okay? So what you don't understand is that once this sets in, you're basically getting metabolic syndrome. Once this cycle sets in, it's incredibly difficult to turn around with more war and famine. Okay? 90 minutes on a treadmill, 1,200 calories a day of plastic food. How in the world is that going to help when it caused it in the first place? See what I mean? Okay, so running on treadmills is stupid and dieting is stupid, all right? Nourishing the body is really smart. Going to sleep, meditating, quitting horrible jobs, dealing with your mother-in-law, those are really, really good for weight loss, okay? Anything that brings down cortisol. So that's just kind of a drop in the bucket of what we talk about in the Fat to Fabulous, which is a 90-day program that basically takes people from this state of misery, fat, miserable, asexual, tired, everything. Takes you from that state, puts you on a mission, shows you how to nourish your body, right? What's the best way to get nourishment into your body to get results really, really fast, okay? And then lots of really helpful tips on how to make nourishing food, okay? And then in the last bit, we get into the mastery, which is learning how to exercise smart, giving back, getting rid of toxic emotions, thoughts, sometimes people, okay? And basically just making this your own. So if you're interested at all, please send me an email to Lesley at Lesley Dresser, because it's all about me. LesleyDresser.com, and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. We're going to kick misinformation in the ass and get people knowledgeable about their bodies and what's really going on in this world. All right? Thanks. Bye-bye.